as a weapon. He felt cold steel, a barrel, and he pulled, trying to release the rifle. It was trapped under the body, so he had to jerk and lift at the same time, but eventually the weapon broke free. He examined it with both hands. He had been mistaken. The circular steel was not the barrel of a pistol, but rather the handle of a small, blunt shovel. It would have to serve as a weapon until he could find something better. Joseph grasped the shovel and kept his body low, crouching behind the Confederate. Flashes of musket fire continued, and the bursts of light allowed him to see dimly through the smoke and the night. He could make out the trench line again. The fighting continued. Several members of his company were only a few feet away, locked in combat with their attackers. In the blackness, he couldn't make out individuals. Where was David? His friend had been asleep right next to him. Where was he now? Joseph had to find him. A flash. A Union soldier and a Confederate were fighting not more than 2 yards away. He pulled himself up and waited for the next burst of light. Another flash. He leapt out of the darkness, landing heavily against the enemy. He grabbed the Confederate by the neck with his left hand, and with his right, he brought the shovel down hard where he judged the head would be. He heard a wet thud, and the body went limp. He pulled back on the shirt collar, dragging the body for a moment, and then hurling the rebel against the wall of the trench. Joseph felt a hand in the darkness, grasping his arm hard and threatening to pull him down. He turned to strike with the shovel as another flash rent the night. He stopped mid-motion, realizing he was about to hit his best friend. In the brief flicker of light, he saw recognition in David's eyes as well, and the hand relaxed. Joseph grasped his friend by the forearm and pulled him close, dragging him down against the trench wall. He held David tightly for a moment, giving them both strength and a moment of rest. "Are you okay?" he whispered. "Yes," answered David. "Where did they come from?" "I don't know. I woke up to screaming and gunfire. The next thing I knew, I was fighting with someone. I didn't even know who. He was getting the better of me, and I thought I'd had it. Then he let go. I pulled my bayonet out and was going to get him, but when the light flashed again, he was gone, and it was you." "I killed him. Do you still have your bayonet?" "It's right here." "What about your rifle?" "I don't know. It was next to me when I fell asleep, but I haven't seen it. It happened too quickly." The din of battle was beginning to die down. Joseph struggled to see in the dark, but he could make out nothing. "We have to get out of here. I think we've lost this trench. Do you remember the connecting trench to our left? The one that leads back away from the front? If we can make it there, I think we could sneak out and get help." David stepped closer to Joseph and searched from left to right. "This whole trench must be crawling with Rebs. How are we going to make it all the way there? Can't we just climb up the back of the trench and escape? The lip is too high, and with all the mud it's too slippery. Even if we made it out, they would see us for sure with all the musket fire. We have to try the side trench." Joseph grabbed his friend's hand, holding it tight for a moment. "Okay, but I don't know where I'm going." "I know the way. We'll use the flashes of light to see. I'll take the lead. Stay down and keep quiet." Joseph closed his eyes for a moment and tried to imagine the distance to the connecting trench. He knew it was at least 20 yards away. If they kept low and were lucky, they should make it. He groped in the darkness around David, searching for his rifle. He found nothing. It must have been picked up or kicked away in the fighting. He would have to do without a musket. He grasped the shovel in his right hand and took David's hand with his left, then slowly crawled forward, leaning against the trench with his left shoulder as he tried to orient himself. His luck held for several minutes. The sound of battle was fading now to almost nothing, replaced by murmuring in southern accents. There were fewer flashes, which made the going more difficult, but Joseph knew they were getting closer to their goal, and the darkness might save them now. He crawled forward, keeping a firm grasp on David and feeling for the opening in the trench. He was prepared to fight. Even if they were able to make it to the connecting trench, Confederates would almost certainly be guarding the entrance. If only he had his rifle. From the darkness, new flashes emerged. Matches. The Confederates were beginning to light their lucifers in the trench. Joseph pulled hard on David's hand and struggled forward, trying to reach the side trench before the lanterns revealed them. Several were fully lit, but fortunately they were farther down. The dim light had the advantage of allowing Joseph to see at least vague shapes.